symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
Hey, what's happening, everyone? The Job Guys back with you one more time. That is Nick over there. This is Ryan over here, and we're a few days late this time, but we are going to recap WrestleMania 39, an awesome WrestleMania 39 weekend, and then even some of the stuff that has happened since. Raw. WWE got sold, apparently, or merged with UFC.
UFC, man, yeah.
I mean, this is some of the biggest events we have ever seen of all time, and we're going to go over it a little late, by the way, because I was at WrestleMania 39, did one little quick update, but didn't get to talk about night 2 at all. I was there. Nick watched on TV, so we have a little bit different, I guess, the way we viewed everything. So we're going to check all that stuff out, Nick. Just first of all, top to bottom, overall grade or whatever you want to do for the 2-night show. How was it for you?
Going in, I was hoping to get a 7 out of 10, 6.
Yeah.
I was like, not really into any of these. Dude, 8 or 9. Like this was a great I think this WrestleMania, it's definitely, if you've got 39 WrestleManias, it's definitely on the upper echelon of where it ranks. Yeah. I wouldn't even say pleasantly surprised. Extremely surprised. I mean, it was especially night 1, and we'll get into it. I thought it was a great show, Ryan. I really did.
I thought night 1, as I said before, was maybe, and this was my 6th WrestleMania, and I've been to a million Nitros and Raws and whatever else. Top to bottom, it might be the best night of wrestling I've ever been to in my life. I thought it was very good. Sorry again, it's Wednesday taping this, and I still don't have my voice back. So my voice is gone from 2 nights of that. Then we went to Magic Mountain the night after that, and just
we'll get you the cane thing.
Loud. Yeah,
we'll
I was there. Cody should have one. Meh. Yeah, whatever. Well, since I just mentioned it, let's start right there. That's what everybody's talking about. The main event, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. I was excited for this match solely because I didn't know who was going to win. I had no clue going in. I wanted Roman to win. I'm a bloodline guy. I don't hate Cody, but I'm just like, I'm kind of indifferent to him. I think they made the right move, but I would have been fine had Cody won. I think there are stories to tell there. If you look online and you look at everything, Nick, people are pissed, or they're fake pissed. I'm not sure exactly. I have some theories on that. But you yourself, I thought the match was very good. You and I both think too much interference. That may be the one complaint from us. A little too much interference. But I thought it was a good match, and I'm fine with Roman still winning.
I wish Zayn and Owens would have cut the Usos off before they hit the ring. I think that would have been cool, and it would have been a lot better to push the bloodline forward, where Roman would then be, you were supposed to be there, you didn't make it there to have my back.
Right.
Other than that, it had Solo just interfered. I'm okay. People are like, he gets interference in all his matches. I'm like, I don't think you've been watching all. Some he does, and I get it. It's been maybe more than you like. This isn't NWO in 97 where every freaking match is ending with
not
a run.
Every match. There have been a lot, but not
there have
every.
been.
Right.
But no, I thought the right guy won. Roman's still hot, and I've said this. I do like Cody, and he's growing more and more on me. I like the guy, but he comes in hot as one of the VPs from AEW, right? He only really wrestles 3 matches.
Yep.
And then he's gone. So he kind of doesn't have time to either take it to the next level or hopefully not cool off. And he comes back hot, wins the Rumble, thrown into a feud with the greatest wrestler in the world. I think the WWE made the right call just in the fact, let's see what he does for the next 6 months. Is he still the top merch guy? Is he still getting these pops? And if he is, we can do this again. I think one of the best lines I heard, Triple H, people were like, you ruined the story. You ruined the story. I cannot believe I keep loving Triple H lines like this. He's like, the story's never over, dude.
Yeah.
Like, this is the story. He didn't win. Now we go on from here. And one of the fans of the Job Guys here commented on our post from our greatest WrestleMania matches, main event matches. And I really loved his post. I can't remember. I forget. I'm sorry. I can't give you a shout out.
Mike Brisson, maybe.
He said, once Cody gets the belt, what do you do now with
Yeah.
him?
Yeah.
And
It might have been Kevin.
you felt that same way with Goldberg, if I recall.
Yeah, I
You
did.
know,
The second he won it.
you were like, okay, what now? Cody still has a chase in him here. He's, and you got a big feud with Brock. I don't know. I thought the match was pretty darn good. And the right guy won. I didn't have a problem with it, Ryan.
I have a lot to say about all of this, the whole match, before match, after match, all of it. I have not thought about that in particular. Not only Goldberg, I also liked DDP a lot.
Did.
When he won the U.S. belt finally at Starrcade 97, it was almost instantaneous. I was like, because he was the underdog story, the people's champ, not the real champ. Once he became the champ, I was like, okay, there he did it. It's over. And you make a great point there because, and I did know, we have not seen Cody fight adversity yet, not in the wrestling ring. Yes, in real life he tore his pec, but sure, we have not seen it in the wrestling ring yet. I do think, and there's a lot of this now. Oh, so much for all you people that said Cody was going to get booed or the crowd was going to turn on him. They haven't had a chance to turn on him yet. He's only been back since the Rumble. They haven't had a chance to. And I do think they will. I do think they will because I think there is something very phony about him. I think there is something that is very pre-produced, shoved down your throat. What was the big thing everybody hated about John Cena? Oh, he's force-fed. He's force-fed. What about Roman? He's force-fed. He's force-fed. Everything about Cody is force-fed. Everything from his dad, the whole thing with his family, winning the big one. He literally came down the aisle and shook hands and kissed babies before this match, which I didn't know until I saw it later in the night. You couldn't tell where we were sitting. I was in the end zone for night 2. The guy was over massively. They loved him. The crowd was so hot, man. Like it felt maybe more than, well, not Rock Hogan. That's the greatest thing I've ever been to. There'll be nothing ever compared to that. But it was the hottest I think I've seen a crowd that I've been in ever for a main event. It felt like the main event. Tyson Holyfield, whatever you went, it felt like it. But there were also, people are acting like, oh, you ruined everything. There were plenty of Roman fans there as well. Plenty. A ton.
You can see them pointing toward the sky, right?
All the time. And I was one of them.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, I know I'm jumping all over, but speaking of that, the number one shirt I saw all week from downtown LA to the stadium, to the bus, to, Dodger Stadium, everywhere we went, every person I talked to, and I don't own any Bloodline anything. Every person I talked to was a Bloodline fan, not a Cody fan. Every single person. I don't know if we all just kind of have the same, I had an nWo shirt on, so I don't know if they were like, oh, this guy must be a Bloodline fan. I'm not sure. But everyone was a Roman fan. And the number one shirt we saw everywhere was We the Ones. Every single place I went, We the Ones was the number one shirt. Then there was Cena and Austin stuff and nWo. Those were the shirts. Those were the shirts. We the Ones was the number. Now, there was plenty of Cody as well, but We the Ones was it, man. These dudes are over. So anyway, this guy is so force-fed. I don't know. And everybody's all bent out of shape now that Cody, now all of a sudden people are Cody fans. 4 weeks ago, everybody was going, you ruined it. I don't want to see Cody. I want to see Sammy. Sammy should have won. Sammy should have won.
That's true.
Sammy should have won in his own town. Oh, you just ruined it. Now all of a sudden they care about Cody. You didn't care about Cody 4 weeks ago. Now all of a sudden you're massive Cody fans.
Ryan,
that doesn't make any sense to me.
I think it will. Let me try this on you. He comes in and he's feuding with the greatest worker in the world, Seth Rollins. That's huge. He puts on these phenomenal matches. he comes back from injury. Wins the Royal Rumble. That's huge. And then he's thrown into the best storyline since maybe the NWO. I mean, he's been involved in other, like, it's not just been Cody Rhodes that has gotten Cody Rhodes over.
Right.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. Maybe we take 6 months. Let's see him fight a Matt Riddle, or again, I know he's a face, whatever. I'm not saying it. Let's see him fight some other guys. Let's see him fight, let's see how this goes. When you're not, it's real easy to get popped when you're in the ring with Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins. These are the greatest, biggest stars in the world. I hope it holds with him, but I think that does help for his popularity that he is involved in big angles, big matches, big dudes.
One more thing about Triple H. And I'm shocked that I have never heard this from anybody else. Triple H is Kevin Sullivan. Triple H books heat. He books heat. And he's been since he was a wrestler. Remember WrestleMania 16? He won when everybody thought Rock was going to win that 4-way match. Yeah. He booked heat. All the McMahons got back together and saved him when he was with Evolution. He kept winning. Remember, he kept winning. He books heat. He's been doing it here now with Roman ever since the get-go. That's what this guy does. He books heat. Oh, and guess what? It freaking worked, because now everybody is pissed off that Cody lost. Now everybody is behind Cody. They are now behind Cody Rhodes because they think he got screwed. Now you have a reason to cheer him. Sympathy for the babyface. And I think he followed it up by kicking Cody's butt again on Monday. Triple H books heat. He is old school. I mean, come on. And Roman's not ready yet. Last thing on that. Oh, Sammy's so over. Sammy's so over. Cody's so over. Cody's so over. Why do you think that is? You don't think it has anything to do with who he's fighting? You don't think it has anything to do with who he's fighting?
100%.
That's the guy that's really over.
It is.
Roman is the guy who's really over. It's at the point where you can put anybody with him right now. That's how big that guy is.
And I think they're saving Cody. I mean, Cody's probably going to beat Lesnar here. You would assume.
Yeah, he's going to
beat Brock Lesnar
now. Yes.
And that'll be a huge pop for him, and we're moving, and maybe we get this. And I even thought, what might be even cool, maybe Cody doesn't take the belt. Maybe it's Seth, because of their feud, and he is over right now. And I would say
his song is over.
Yeah. I love the guy. And
I do too. But this song, they just want to sing that song.
That could set up, he doesn't necessarily have to win the belt from Roman. I mean, if they have, he could fight Seth for it. We got a lot of things that Cody could still do. The guy, this one match does not define this guy's WWE existence and career.
Right.
And Roman is the money right now. He is this, and this is not something that you can just, oops, we shouldn't have done that. Let's put the belt back on Roman.
Right.
When he loses, this is done. Like you can't recreate 1,000 days. Like,
right.
I mean, this is a thing. You have to have the right guy.
It could have been here. It could have been. I'm not going to say it wouldn't have been. And I wouldn't have been. I thought Cody was going to win because, and maybe this is why they got mad too. They kept drilling that finish the story thing in. And that's like you always say, you never come out if you're a babyface and guarantee you're going to win if you're not going to win, because then you look stupid. And I think there is some of that. I think people are like, well, because they keep hammering this home, and they had T-shirts that were the WrestleMania 7 logo with Hogan, only it was Cody holding the flag, and underneath it, instead of saying WrestleMania, it said finish the story. So, I mean, they were pumping this thing in. So I think people felt like maybe they got duped a little bit, and maybe that's why they're mad. Not quite sure. But yeah, I don't know that people wouldn't have gotten sick of this guy after 3 months, or by SummerSlam, they're sick of this guy. Now they have a reason to still cheer him, and I'm fine with it. I'm completely fine with it. Someone will beat Roman one of these days,
Yeah, they will.
but that wasn't the day. Real quick, let's take the 2 nights, and we won't talk about the match yet, but the first night. Usos have had these belts for like a year and a half now, whatever it is.
Awesome.
And guess what? The Street Profits weren't going to beat them. The Viking Raiders weren't going to beat them. Now, and they lost plenty of times on Raw or whatever, but it didn't matter. Would you have told me 6 months ago that Sammy and Kevin Owens were going to be the ones to beat them? No. But guess what? The story worked out, and it came to fruition, and it was the right team to beat them finally. And it happened to be a tag match in the main event of WrestleMania. I mean, it was perfect. It was perfect. And when they did win, boom, the roof blew. If Cody would have won, it would not have been the same as what happened on night one. Night one was special, man. It was special in the way they did it. Not one haluva kick, not 2 haluva kicks. Dude falls on him, on his head. He's laying on him like this, holding him up, throws him back in, kicks him again. Cody wouldn't have been the same. And Ryan, they need to get that with Roman. You know what I mean? They need to get their Sammy and KO beating Roman. And Sammy should have won in Montreal. No. That's the Sammy J story. Roman, maybe it's Roman and Jay. I don't know, but there's no story yet there that will give you the feeling that you got on night one. It's not there yet, so it's not time yet. Do you want to go all the way back to night one, Nick, or do you want to do night 2 since we're sitting here and then go back to night 1?
I can do the big matches. I mean, I'll start Cena. And how good was Cena in theory? That was freaking great, man.
And you know what's funny? This tells you how good that Mania was. That was probably the worst match in night 1.
It might have been.
And it was,
and Cena,
it was fine.
The ring rust, but they saved Cena, didn't get obliterated. They say in theory got another. This dude,
he's good.
We talk about maybe Roman's not even a heel when he loses this belt. I don't know how this plays out. Could Austin Theory come? I love this freaking guy.
I do too.
I think this guy and LA Knight are the 2 dudes outside the bloodline I'm not missing right now. Yeah. I love them. I mean, I do. And Seth, of course. But
yeah, I think
great
Austin
match.
Theory,
good win for him. I think
and dude, I told you about the shirts and everything. Cena, there were Cena shirts everywhere, from little kids to 40-year-olds. Every single color of the rainbow was there.
Are these the same people that were happy when he left?
It may have been. I'm not sure, but that's completely over with
awesome.
now.
The dude
people,
is
I think,
awesome.
Get it now.
Yeah.
Like, wow, we should have appreciated this guy when he was here.
Yeah.
He came out, and it was funny, man. The beginning of the show was kind of anticlimactic. We're all like, oh, man, this is going to be amazing. In the light, it was light out, so they didn't have fireworks early or anything because the sun was out. And they start with the Miz and Snoop, and you get all the pump up. You get the Kevin Hart, and you're like, let's go. Miz? Oh, man. All right. So that happens. And then we're like, okay, the match. Theory comes out. And then they go to a Make-A-Wish package, and we're like, oh, man, more corporate BS at WrestleMania. But then you saw the kids come out, and then Cena with the kids, and it was just like
awesome. It was really cool.
It was perfect, and you knew he was going to lose. You didn't care, you didn't care.
Oh, you know, yeah.
And the match again, it wasn't the greatest thing ever, but it was John Cena, man. We're like, wow, we get to see this guy. It was perfect, man. It was absolutely perfect. And then
I agree.
While we're sitting there. So I was like second deck, 7th row. And for anybody that's never been to SoFi, freaking amazing. This stadium is incredible. And we were dead set 50-yard line. I'll put up a little video of Cena's entrance right now so you can see it where I was sitting. Amazing. It was incredible. That set, I saw some renderings of it like a week before or something like that. It didn't quite look like the rendering. Very close, though. It was all at first I was like, oh man, red carpet, that's so like corny, Hollywood, whatever.
I texted you the day
It was
before, I think, and I
incredible.
said, dude, the set looks so good,
It
man.
did, man.
Because I
It
saw the
did.
drop of it when it was, I was like, oh
Yeah.
my Lord, it
Yeah.
looks good.
Yeah. The rendering I saw, the video had the WrestleMania sign longer. It went across the entire stage. This was obviously right in front of where they walked out. Whatever. It was sweet. It looked so good, especially at night when it got dark. It looked awesome, man. It's not the best one I've ever seen. I still say 34 is personally my favorite with the Mardi Gras mask and whatever. Um, it was sweet though. It really added to it. So anyway, just wanted to get that out there too. The arena is incredible. I mean, it's massive. I would suggest if they ever have anything there again, don't sit on the fifth deck because you're like on the moon. Like I think people were talking to Neil Armstrong up there. It's up there, but the 200 level it's like a 100 level at any other stadium. It was awesome. Anyway, match 2, show stealer of the night for me. You knew there'd be some good spots in that 4-way tag match, because it 4-way tag. There's going to be dudes flying around. Montez is in there. Ricochet's in there. You knew there'd be, but holy, the spots that we got, never seen before. That big tower suplex off the top that they did was incredible. Angelo Dawkins leveling Braun Strowman outside the ring when he was doing the train. That was incredible. The finish was great. This match stole the show, man, to me. The crowd was just, I mean, they got us. They got it was awesome, man.
That's awesome. Because I liked it, but my only problem, I just didn't care.
Well, right.
But
they made you care with the spots.
They saved it. And, it just seemed to me like one of those matches, like we got to put more people on the card. So let's just throw all these dudes into a tag match. But the match delivered at least. It was an awesome match. Very entertaining. I've hated these since WrestleMania 7. I think they started when they threw those guys in the ring at like a 6 or 8 man tag. And I'm like, just don't have them on the card.
But it delivered, and anybody that'll say like, oh, I thought you didn't like spots, you rip on AEW all the time. 2 things on that. 1, it was spots I haven't seen. 2,
they didn't botch them.
Well, okay, 3 things. And 3, they executed. You're exactly right. But they all meant something. And it wasn't stand around and wait for the guy to set it up and whatever. Like Ricochet's springboard 450 to the outside. He just went boink, boink, out of here. Like he didn't have to stand there for 5 minutes and set it up. And people are standing outside the ring pretending to be dazed. And they didn't have to do any of that, man. They just, boom. Match. They just, for what it was
a great match.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was awesome. Seth, Logan Paul. We knew this would be a good worked match. The crowd absolutely loved singing Seth's song.
So I don't know why I love it.
But the conductor was out there, and it was kind of cool. Logan coming out on the zip line. He kind of came out right in front of us. That was kind of cool. We knew somebody was going to be in the drink thing. I didn't know who it was going to be. I kind of wish it was somebody else, but it all worked, man. It all worked. It was a fun match.
And the right guy won.
The right guy won. It doesn't hurt Logan Paul. He's not a wrestler.
Right. And I think he's done, isn't he?
That's what he said, but I can't imagine they're not going to bring him back unless he was just like, okay, I did it. I'm done now.
As someone who's not a big part-timer fan, I don't mind them using. He is a good part-timer, man. I mean, is there a celebrity that's done a better job than Logan Paul in that ring?
Well, we keep saying that, and I don't know if this is a good or bad thing, but now Bad Bunny did a pretty good job, and we're going to see him again, obviously. Pat McAfee did a great job, and we obviously saw him later in the night. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, though, because now that's 3 celebrities in a row that have shown this really isn't that hard. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but they have been awesome.
Either that or it's a tribute to who they're working with and who's training them.
Yeah.
Because they are putting them in there with people who know how to sell, know how to, they're not putting them in there with Stevie Ray.
Right. There would the only thing here that I will say a little bit, and I'll say it more later in the night. My only problem, and it seems like everybody else on earth loves it. This match, the girls' match later in the night, the main event, Roman Cody, it was a whole lot of WrestleMania 25 to me. Kick out and being Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, kick out, make the shocked face, sit there for 5 minutes.
I don't think you're getting rid of that, Ryan.
Out.
That's here to stay. I mean, it just.
And you can do it once, maybe twice a match. 4, 5, 6, 8 times a match is ridiculous to me. And still a great match. But I mean, the girls did it later in the night. And again, Cody Roman. And it's not that they sit there and make the shocked face. They sit there for like 2 minutes afterward. And like, get up and do it again. Get him out.
And what you say, you're just overusing it. It's like how many people are going to be thrown into the river? Right. I mean, right. It's just like, come on, man. How many people are going to drive a truck to the ring or something? Like, come on. Like you're overusing it. Yeah, probably need to down that, but I don't think it hurt that bad.
I think this match was the least of that compared to those other two. But no, I mean, there were some awesome spots here, the coast to coast, and he super kicks him. There was some real good stuff here. It was a fun match. Then we get to maybe the downer of the night, Damage Control against Lita, Trish, and Becky.
I didn't like it.
This one killed the crowd until about the last 5 minutes. And then they got the crowd back because it did get better as it had a good finish. Didn't care. Damage Control stinks. This whole thing.
I'm sorry. Lita's just not what she used to be. It really shows. I mean, this woman could fly off those ropes and stuff.
Well, she was doing 8 years old.
But I mean, some of her head scissors, it looked like they almost had to grab her legs and put them around you to get her, It just Trish brought it. She looked great.
You got that straight.
And she was still able to work. And again, I mean, is Damage Control done? Are we over?
I hope.
Because I think they lost on Monday, and they lost.
Did, and they got beat. And apparently there was something where Bayley was supposed to be with them, and Vince allegedly cut it. And she made a tweet that said something about the greatest love story ever is over.
And then said bye. Yeah.
I assume they're working something. I don't know what they're working. But whatever. My big thing, and we talked, I don't know if we did on air or not. Who asked for this match? You got Becky Lynch, who is obviously not as hot as she used to be.
But still, probably one of the top women in the division. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I just don't know who asked for this. Like, who wanted Lita and Trish back? I don't know. Possibly my moment of the night or the weekend. Dom Ray. Dominic Mysterio's entrance was one of the greatest entrances in the history of professional wrestling. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not kidding.
It was funny, man. I was dying.
This is one of the greatest entrances of the video of him in jail, getting handcuffed, da-da-da. And then you start hearing the paddy wagon. The police roll in, and he jumps out of the paddy wagon. Dude, now, we're in Los Angeles. If you've never been there, massive Latino crowd there. So Ray was over as anybody all weekend, man. And probably the reason, obviously, why they put him in the Hall of Fame there. Dude, the place went nuts. When he came out and he had the Ray mask on, dude, people like audibly like, oh, they got mad. That's
what he's supposed to do.
And the match was great. I'll tell you, I'm probably alone on this, and I'm a big Snoop fan or whatever. I didn't like Ray coming out with Snoop in a lowrider when he's about to beat up his kid. I know it's WrestleMania, and it's about the spectacle and whatever, but that didn't make any sense. That made no sense to me that he's out here. Yeah, let's go. Me and Snoop, doop. Now let me go beat up my kid. I didn't
think I liked this match as much as I did.
It was amazing.
I the angle feud going. I will tell you the SmackDown before, and God bless the fans because they're the ones that really got me into this feud on that SmackDown. When he went and he punched Dom, I did not expect. Like I was like, wow, people
into it.
Really want to see this, and then I'm thinking like, as someone who's an adult in today's society with the younger people in today's society, there are a lot of us who was like, you remember when we were living vicariously through Austin when he kicked the hell out of Vince McMahon's boss?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people who were like, some of these kids might freaking need this,
Right.
Like, I mean, and it's like, we've watched them mouth off. We've watched them get him right. Freaking get, and that was great when he took his belt off. He's smacking his butt. that was
awesome. My moment of the night.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Moment of the night was him spanking his kid who was like 25.
It was great. It was great. In this one, part of me felt I'm worried a little bit about Dom. I really am. I'm worried that this is a dangerous Danny Davis gimmick. I've said that before. I wonder how he will feud with another person. I hope it works because I like what they're doing with him. I'm just a little, because people forget. I don't know if Dangerous Danny was really drawing heat at one point. I mean, he is, and so is Ray. So is Dom. I hope this continues as he moves away.
I agree. I don't know what you do with him after this, especially now with as over as Rhea is. How do you keep them together? What happens there? Because she really got big off of him, and she's an awesome wrestler and everything, but she got big off of him, rejuvenated off of him, and her too. So how's that going to work? I'm not quite sure.
I'm actually excited for the rematch between these two. I assume we're going to get one, right?
I don't know if Bad Bunny's going to wrestle in Puerto Rico, if they're going to wait till SummerSlam for that or what.
Dom has to beat him once. He has to beat him.
I agree with that.
I don't know how you push this guy forward, and I wouldn't be mad if he really beat him and like
hurt him.
They take Ray off TV for a few weeks or something. Like he really don't pull his eye out. But just
gosh. Then we get to what apparently was supposed to at one point be the main event of night one. The ladies' title match, Charlotte against Rhea.
Couldn't have cared less until I saw
many people are saying this is not only the greatest women's championship match of all time. Some are saying it's the greatest female worked match in North America history.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome from start to finish,
too.
and I thought the finish was freaking sweet. Worked out perfect. Charlotte gets knocked out, takes a big bump on the head from the post, and then
the bump on my head
was from the post.
It's from the post.
Never has Charlotte been so humiliated.
Never.
But it was what do they call her? Is it a pump handle?
But it's called the Riptide. But yes,
the Riptide.
Yeah, I mean it's basically a pump handle. Yeah.
But what a great finish. This match, I mean, maybe it is. I just am always quick to like, hold on, let me please think. But
I would have to think about other ladies' matches, but I mean, it was awesome.
Freaking great.
I would say definitely like, I don't know, 4 stars or something like that. But I also heard, like, when we got home, I started hearing people say that stuff like, "Well, this is the greatest match ever." And oh my gosh, it was the match of the night, and and I was like, I didn't think it was that good, but I thought it was good. But then I started hearing people who don't even like women's wrestling, like hate women's wrestling. We're like, dude, Michael Cole was incredible during this match. He made it. Was he? See, I've only watched like the first 2 matches so far. I have not gone back and watched everything yet. And people were like, no, dude, he like built this and made it even better. So, I mean, maybe it is. There was a lot of great spots in it. Again, I think there was too much of, oh my gosh, I can't believe that didn't work. And now I'm going to sit here and cry about it for 5 minutes, and then I'll try to do another move. But there was drama in it. There's tons of drama.
What hits me is I can't, like, greatest match of all time. I wasn't super big on the feud. I think this match was more exciting going in. I didn't care like about this match.
Right.
And they
Same
made
thing
me
with
care.
the other ladies match. There was
but it did work. I mean, it was awesome.
So then we get the aforementioned Pat McAfee. That, if anything fell flat on night one, that was it. I don't know if it was the Miz. I don't know if it was. We've seen McAfee do this a couple times now, where he surprises and shows up. I'm not quite sure. Like, people were like not sad to see him or anything. We're like, oh, all right, well, what are we going to get here? Oh, he's going to beat up the Miz. Like, you knew it was going to happen. It was cool when he did the, like, whatever the heck he did, swan dive off the top to the outside.
Yeah,
but I also don't think anybody knew who George Kittle was. I mean, I do because I'm a sportscaster.
Sports, but yeah,
I
especially
don't
without
know.
a helmet and without a jersey and a number.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't know football players because you can't see them.
And he is a big name, obviously, but it's not Gronk. And my mom knows who Gronk is. It's not Travis Kelce, who I think my mom now knows who Travis Kelce is because of the Super Bowl. It's George Kittle. And I don't think anybody, like normal people who are there to watch wrestling, are like, who is this guy? So that kind of fell flat. It didn't suck or anything, but it didn't hit, I don't think, the way they wanted it to. So whatever. Moving on, main event. We talked about it a little bit. Wow, man. I mean, Little Uzi comes out. That news kind of got broken that he was going to be there, but thank God he only did like one verse of his song. But then the Usos come. Place erupts. Place erupt. Sammy and KO were as over as could be. This match, not the greatest match on earth. Not three and a half, 4 stars.
It didn't need to be.
The story was perfect, man.
And how good were the Usos outfits? They were sick, man. I love the all white with the blood dripping in them.
And people were wearing that the next night.
Oh.
They were wearing, because they sold the new white We the One shirt. That's what was on sale, the one they were wearing. The next day, people started showing up in all white, wearing it.
It was awesome.
In red shoes. I mean, it was just perfect. It was the absolute perfect finish to that story.
I thought it was just like your take. I'll just say this, because we don't need to spend a ton of time. Like your Taker, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Hell in a Cell. It felt like you were watching a story the whole way through this match.
Yep.
Even at the end where they're all beat up and they're like, Kevin Owens like, let's finish this. And he called. And
did he say that?
Yes. He's like, it was cool. He's like, and they just both start hammering on each other.
That's when they did the, okay.
It was
because
awesome.
I couldn't obviously.
Yeah, obviously you guys
that.
can't hear, but yeah, it was cool, man.
I can't wait to go back and watch it, but it burns me a little bit. And I have watched the Hogan Rock match again, but I hate watching some of these special things. I hate watching them back on TV. Because then I remember it like that. I want to remember it the way I was. I want to remember it the way I remembered it.
Give yourself some time. Let some time pass then, man.
Yeah, that match was great. What a night. Everybody went home happy. Even I'm a Bloodline guy. You were like, dude, it was awesome. Stand, clap, and like, what a great, the right team won.
The right guy won.
It was perfect, man. What a night. And again, maybe the best night of wrestling I have ever been to in my life. Night 2, dude. More of the same off the top. We got the big fellas at the beginning. This is exactly what it needed to be.
Great match.
Exactly what it needed to be. I told some people, I'm like, this is going to be Goldberg Lesnar. It's just going to be 5 minutes, 2 big guys throwing each other around. Brock's finally going to get him. Boom. Exactly what it needed to be. And you're like, well, isn't the opening match usually fast, quick? No, this was perfect. 2 behemoths just knocking each other for a couple of minutes. It's quick, bang,
and
bang,
Brock
bang,
needed
bang.
that win.
Perfect.
Big win for Brock because it sets up the Cody Brock. Brock's coming off of a big win, And
look what I did to the Giant. Look what I'm going to do to you.
Yep.
And now I'm mean again. I'm not nice cowboy Brock. I'm mean Brock again. Yeah, it was great. It was exactly what it needed to be. And once again, the production team and staff and everything, they put together the promo, the pre-match package about his hands are 20 feet big and he's this and this and perfect. It was perfect. It made you go from why do I want to watch this to, oh, this might be interesting. Okay, yeah, this might be
that intro and it reminded me of Ventura at 3. It
was great.
Tail of the tape, baby.
Tail of the tape. Next match, probably the worst of the weekend. The entire weekend.
Yes.
It had nothing going in. You mentioned the guys 4-way. There was no story or anything. Well, this really didn't have one. And you knew who was going to win. Ronda was hurt. She didn't fight till the end.
Yep.
And but you didn't really recognize it. It was fine for what it was.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst match in WrestleMania history by any means.
Get in, get out, be done with it.
Yep.
And the ladies worked hard. They all did. It just there was just no juice behind this.
I think we're going to see Ronda and Shayna grab the titles eventually here.
Well, a lot of people thought it was going to happen that night. That they were going to grab the mic right then, but I don't think Ronda's ready to work a match yet. Arguably the best match of night 2. Maybe some would say the whole weekend. The triple threat for the IC, Gunther, Sheamus, McIntyre. This is exactly what everybody thought it would be after seeing the other Sheamus and Gunther and whoever matches. Just literally strong style, beating the heck out of each other. And that's what it was. And it delivered. It was very good. Crowd was nuts. 16 minutes. The crowd the entire time. And there were fans of everyone. There were Sheamus fans. There were Drew fans. There were Gunther
I couldn't
fans.
believe the Sheamus pop. You're right. There were people that were behind Sheamus.
A lot.
I couldn't believe that. And this is why I don't understand why we're talking about bringing back Pete Dunne. No offense. I'm sure it was wonderful for those. Like, the Brawling Brutes are cool, man. Like, I don't understand why we're ending this.
Rejuvenated Sheamus's career.
Yeah,
it really did.
It's the best thing he's done since, I think, maybe when he tagged with Cesaro. I kind of like that when they were a tag
they were a
team,
good tag. Yeah,
but other than that, I've not been a big Sheamus guy.
No, ever.
And this is over. This is working, and they're cool. Like, they're not cheesy. They're guys that like to fight and go out to the pubs.
They made it work.
Yeah,
they made it work, man. Cool spots in this one too. The finish was, my gosh. I mean, you want to put Gunther over. How about that? He, first of all, I didn't know he could fly. Flies off the top, picks up a dude, power bombs him, then picks up the other dude and power bombs him on top of the other dude. I mean, great finish. The crowd, literally the entire match. We did not sit down during this match. It was great. It delivered. Everybody went home happy. Gunther continues. I
thought Drew might win, but you're right. Gunther, when I thought Drew might win, just for the simple fact, I feel like that guy, like, what are we doing with this guy? He's kind of caught, but then I thought, I put the prediction in on the page we were watching, so I couldn't change it. But as we're watching, I'm like, when is it ever a triple threat match where there's two guys who are kind of tied to each other fighting a third? The third always wins.
Right.
Like those two guys, like, it made me think back to Survivor Series with DX versus Cena. And, I was like, great. It's a great match. I love that match too. But Cena emerges. And this one, I also thought, I don't know that Gunther's ready for the next step. I think he's still an IC guy.
Got to develop his character.
Yeah. I think it was good. The right guy won, in my opinion, now when I look at it. And we got to keep building this guy up. So when he drops that IC title, he's ready to challenge for the world.
Right. Like a Bret Hart. Like,
yes.
Yeah. Quick story. So I'm at WrestleCon and I'm wearing my Honky Tonk Man shirt. First person I see when I walk into WrestleCon, Honky Tonk Man. Nice. And I walk up and I was wearing this coat too. And I'm like, hey, I got macho right now, but say that's Honky. I'm like, right here. And he's like, oh, all right, man. And he was signing autographs. So at the end of the night, I'm like, all right, I'm going to get Honky's autograph because I have his rookie card. I'm like, I'm going to have him sign this. So we go over there and there was another dude there and he had like a magazine from back in the day. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to get this signed. So I'm sitting there chit-chatting with him. Honky was talking to somebody. I don't know who. Honky just comes over and interrupts me and this other dude. We're standing near his table. He's like, hey, man, who's this fella? Who's this guy who they're saying is better than me? Who's this guy they're saying better than me? I'm like, hello. Nice. Like, whoa, what are you talking about? Had no idea. He's like, this fellow who's supposed to be a better Intercontinental Champion than I am right now. What's this going on? He was like legit pissed, like that they're saying Gunther, because I guess he is now the second longest reigning champ of all time or something.
I don't see him losing either. I don't see him. I don't either. He's gonna probably break it.
But he's still like 200 days behind him or whatever it is. It's still quite a ways behind. And I said that to him. I think he's legit mad because if his record gets passed, well, then he's out. Then he no one talks about him anymore. So I think that he's legitimately mad about it, but he was going off. Yeah, there ain't no way he's better than me. I mean, what's this guy ever doing? He don't even cut. I don't even know his goddamn name, man. He was going on. And then he goes, oh, yeah, if you guys want autographs, it's $100. And then he walks away.
100?
Dude. And online, it was like $40 or something. And that's what the guy goes, oh, that's not what the website said. He goes, you talk to my man. He walks away. And then each of these dudes has like a money guy with him.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, to sign that book, that's $100. I'm like, okay. Well, then I had that card. I go, what about this card? It's like, oh, that's $100. I'm like, see you later. And that was the end of that. So,
oh God,
there's my honky tonk man complaining
you didn't get the late day special.
I didn't get the Eric Bischoff end of the day special. No, I didn't stick around long enough. I should have. I got a ton of stories about WrestleCon too that I can probably tell on a different podcast, but I wanted to get that one out of there because it concerns Gunther, and honky tonk man legitimately mad that Gunther may beat his record someday. Then we get to Bianca and Asuka. I got great Bianca story too. The feud here was terrible, but
awful.
People like Asuka. We've always said it. We don't need to get into it.
I don't get it.
I've never gotten it. I don't get it. Bianca was the entrance. One of the few that got an entrance. A lot of, there weren't a ton of big entrances. So she got the one with the Compton dance team. It's pretty cool. It fit her character. I thought it was a really good match. Thought the finish was really good. The crowd did get behind Asuka more than Bianca, but there was a lot of the let's go Asuka, Bianca, let's go Bianca, whatever. Not the world's greatest match, but I thought it was pretty good. Love the finish, showing off Bianca's power again. I just think this girl's so good. There's a backlash on her right now.
Good.
And again, but
I've been waiting. I've been waiting for this.
But there's no reason for her to.
No, there's not. But you know what? If this gets her heel, I want her to crush this roster.
Yeah, but they're not going to do it yet.
I know.
And the problem with her, though, it's not her. The backlash is she has no credible opponents. She has none. She's fighting Oscar over here,
who came out of nowhere.
Yeah, they changed her face paint, and they're like, she's a heel now. And you're like, she's exactly the same.
Like, I don't get it. Like, she's not doing anything in the ring per se that other women are not.
I don't understand the whole, like, she's an amazing worker. It's not better than Bianca. Bianca's the best worker. I think Bianca's amazing. I'm sorry, man.
I know you don't hate her. She's not better than Flair in the ring either.
No, I know you don't not better than Rhea.
No, she's not. I don't think I'd rather watch Lynch. I'd rather watch any of these girls. Alexa Bliss. I'm not. And again, she's not terrible.
If you like her, God bless you. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I have no feeling either way. Right. I just like,
you gotta make me care.
Is the football game on? I don't care. So then we get the Miz and Snoop again, and they start getting mad at each other. And Snoop says, I got somebody, like he did the night before with McAfee.
And you went nuts, didn't you, Sluck? You were cheering your lights out.
Have you seen the video? Did I post it?
Yes, you did. I saw you.
So that was before he got hurt. His music was still playing. Place goes nuts, and I'm literally just, I don't even think I moved a muscle. What? Bobby Lashley can't get a match? LA Knight in LA can't even get a promo? We're bringing out Shane McMahon, who's like 55 or something. I don't even know how old he is. What?
How well this worked last time?
And I just sat here. And I didn't move a muscle.
I don't blame you.
And so the whole thing happened. I'm telling you, I was like a statue through the promo and everything. And then the guy I was with was like, I'm sitting down. Everybody was standing. He goes, I'm sitting down. I don't need to see fake punches and botches. 1 second later, he falls down. And I go, dude, he fell. And then he tried to get up, and I go, uh-oh. Yeah, and then I'm just shocked, and we've seen injuries. I'm shocked we've never seen a show-stopping injury like this before. The only other one, maybe SummerSlam with Austin when he got dropped on his head.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Well, there's one other one. But
yeah, it was not, yeah. That's true.
I can't believe we've never seen anything quite like this at a WrestleMania or something before.
Do you happen to know?
My gosh, Snoop.
I was going to ask you, do you happen to know how they got that to Snoop? Well, do you know what went down here?
You can hear the referee tell him people's elbow. She yells it like 4 times.
Okay.
It's audible. Go back and it is audible.
I must have missed that. Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe somebody told him outside the ring, go punch the Miz. If you watch the very first punch, I think it's quite obvious Miz had no clue he was going to punch him, because Miz is just standing there and he's by himself. There's nobody near him. Then he walks around the ring and all of a sudden he turns around and Snoop hits him. So I think he didn't have a clue. And then you hear the ref go, people's elbow, people's elbow. She said it like 5 times. Yeah. Edge, Balor, another injury right off the gate in this
good match.
I thought it was good. We couldn't tell what was going on. So he got the ladder thrown at him. And we're like, all right. But it looked like he got his hands up, so you didn't see anything.
If you can put that picture up, Ryan, put it up on here, man.
Yeah, I will. I'll put it up. He tweeted the massive gash. I think probably people have seen it. But so then he crawled over. So I don't know what you guys saw, because they went to Edge and then they went crowd wide. So you couldn't see what was going on. So what had happened, he was down on the ground and we're like, I was like, did he get kicked in the head or something? Because I didn't think it was the ladder.
They told us blood stoppage. They told us
they did say that.
They told us they were checking on him.
Okay,
they were coming.
We didn't know, obviously.
Yeah.
But then he crawled. He was in the opposite corner, away from the ramp, and then he crawled over to where the ramp is at, and he was laying there. And where I was at, we could not see anybody but the real referee. So apparently, a doctor came down and he had his head, like, if this is the mat, he had his head laying over the mat, and there was a doctor ducked down, stapled his head back together. And
tough dude.
Yeah. And we're like, well, there's no more blood. There's no more blood. Everybody was like, oh, I bet you they super glued his head, because they'll do that too. I bet you they super glued it. Apparently they stapled it back together. And then Triple H said that in the post game. Anyway, it was a heck of a match.
It was. And it just, I feel bad though, because that really did hurt it. No one's fault, obviously.
Right.
You're in hell in a cell.
Right.
No rules. This could be career ending. Timeout.
Right.
That I really think was a ding on it. But other than that, if you can remove that from it, it's a good match.
I thought it was good. Yeah, I didn't care going in this feud. It's been going so long.
Jesus, since
it may have been a different type of match than I thought it would be, because these two guys can work. But being the feud, there's so much that happened. It makes sense that they were like chairs and ladders and this and this and this. I thought it was a good match. I don't know what you do with Finn.
Edge won. I thought really? Finn. Because like I'm saying, what do you do now? Like, he's lost as the Demon twice now to Roman and Edge. Judgment Day loses all the freaking time. Mm-hmm. And you got Rhea, who's still over. You got that. I don't know that a loss really hurts Edge because of who he is, but
he had to win this feud because he's lost other matches.
Yeah,
with these guys.
I'm just worried. Like, what do you do with Finn now? Like, well, I don't know what you do.
I don't think you do anything with him, because when is the last time they have done anything with him? I mean, he's like a nobody now. And I'm sorry, the Demon thing, he looks stupid. I'm sorry, he looks
And me and you
stupid.
have always said that. If you're better when you're the Demon,
why aren't you
the Demon all the time? Like, I don't understand why you wouldn't. If I'm hitting home runs with bat A, why would I use bat B?
Right.
Like, I don't understand. Like, it just, that doesn't make sense, but
whatever. But the match was really good.
It is.
I thought it was really good. And we talked about the main event already.
Yeah.
It felt like the main event, man. It did. It was like, oh, here we go, baby.
You know what?
Here we go.
It felt like WrestleMania. And I don't know if that makes sense when people say there's a lot of these cards, like we went in and it's just, there's no, like, the story, the guys are maybe big, but there's no story, or the story is kind of decent, but who cares? I was into almost every match, man.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to see, I cared about who won, or
Right.
I wanted a certain particular guy to win.
Yep.
This was WrestleMania.
Yep.
And Ryan, I go on a limb. This is probably going to be a top 10er for me of WrestleManias.
Yeah. I think so.
This was a great WrestleMania, man.
I agree. I don't think that it's the best since 31, hands down. And if you think it's better than that, I'm not going to fight you on it. I mean, there's a lot of people like, they ruined the whole weekend by what they did in the main event. I'm like, no, I don't see it that way. But yeah, and you mentioned feels like WrestleMania. I've seen Roman now, I think 2 or 3 times since he's been Bloodline Roman, maybe only once other than this. I'm not sure. When he comes out, man, the atmosphere changes. It changes. I mean, people are like, here comes the king. Everything that they want that entrance to be, it is.
Everything
man.
he does is much. I love now how he shakes the belts at you.
Yeah,
like, I love it.
Another person told me that. They think that's hilarious.
It's
almost, here you go, buddy.
It's almost like you're waving something at him. Like I'm a little bit bigger than you. I love it. I freaking love it, man.
Yeah.
Everything he does. I'm sorry, Pete. I don't see what people get when they're like, I just don't like him.
I don't get it.
I get that you don't like him in the way that I didn't like Sting because he was feuding with the NWO.
Right.
I still love Sting. Like he's the good. I just like the other guy.
But when he's fighting Hogan.
Right. I'm cheering Hogan. But
NWO,
I don't hate Sting. Sting is the Sting is one of the greatest characters in wrestling history, man.
The main event also because, okay, it's the AEW guy. I guess some people felt that way. I didn't really feel like that, but it's a match we've never seen. It's a fresh match. It's a new match. And again, everybody around us, we were sitting by tons of Bloodline people on night 2. Darn near everybody was Bloodline. So we were like, oh, cool and everything. But nobody knew. So everybody was like, who you got? Who you got? Who do you think? Who do you think? And that made it interesting as well. So when you say it felt like WrestleMania, it felt big. It did. And it felt like that in the building too.
I love not knowing who's going to win. Isn't that the greatest thing?
That's the best
It's the freaking
part.
awesome thing. You've built 2 characters great, perfectly.
Yeah. And I've said at the end, I finally like, all right, 60-40 Cody. And I went 60-40 because of, like we said, the finish the story thing. I'm like, if they didn't hammer that home, I would have said Roman. But yeah, I was like, oh wow, I was wrong. Great. Like that. It was awesome. It was cool, man. And I don't know, I guess maybe for some people it did have the feeling of Triple H winning at 16 or Vince and Stone Cold at 17. But I keep hearing, oh, this is the biggest botch in Mania history. I'm like, it ain't as big of a botch as 17. Just a phenomenal weekend. And I haven't even watched the commentary yet or watched most of the pageantry on TV. I just know what I saw there. Incredible. Best Mania since 31, without a doubt. Maybe better than that. 30, I still think is awesome. But in the 30s, I mean, and yeah, it could be a top 10. It's at least a top
I think
third.
It is. Ryan, I got to go back and look because this might be one of my favorites. Because let me ask you this. Can you watch this again?
Yeah. Anything else real quick?
God, let us know what you felt. Was it a top 10 for you? I think it is. I got to say it's a top 10 right off that because I'm thinking I'm not big on a lot of the WWE stuff in the Attitude Era. Don't like the stuff there's a couple in there like the Cena Rock WrestleMania, the first one. I think that's a good one. 31's good. 30's good. Ryan, I don't know. It might be better than those to me because the Bloodline's here.
It was very good. Great wrap to the weekend, buddy. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Let us know. Please like, please subscribe. And I have some other stories from the week that maybe I'll get on here and talk about a little bit. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Good job, guys. Out.
Pleasure's all yours, Bucky boys.